Now the Q4 earnings for Nio just came out, and boy, I must say it's mixed earnings because in the month of March right now, Nio is expecting to deliver vehicles of between 14,000 and 16,000 because the total Q1 deliveries which they are expecting is between 41 and 43,000. Now this is a 36 to 43% increase year over year, which this again makes Nio to fall short from the 100% delivery growth rate. But I must say, this is not a train smash. 43% increase year over year, it's still not bad, right? It's just that right now people want to benchmark Nio with the 100% which they said they would produce year over year. I mean, there's so much that I want to cover with you, but let me try to cover some of the most important stuff, right? I mean, one of the other important thing that we got to see from Nio is that in terms of revenue, their revenue for the fourth quarter stood at $2.699 million, which of course these were coming from EV sales and non-EV sales. Non-EV sales contributed to about $300 million, while the other 2.3 million came from obviously the Nio car sales, right? I mean, these represent a 15% increase year over year and a 5.5% increase from quarter 3 to quarter 4. Now, here's the thing. The net loss of Nio came to almost $900 million. This is the net loss, and people are furious about this, are fuming about this, which is understandable. But one thing that people are also forgetting is that Nio disclosed something very important, and that is they bought back senior convertible notes worth $378 million as of the end of January, which in Q4, part of the reason this loss might be this high is because they were paying this, of course, convertible debt, right, which was due to expire in 2027. Now, one thing new that they highlighted is that these notes were surrendered and not withdrawn, which that is an important thing to note, right? And like I said, part of the reason Nio had $900 million in terms of loss in Q4 might be due to this, or it can be due to this. But anyways, I just thought I'd get that out of the way before we dig deep into this video. Now, deliveries, like I said, 16,000, and of course, the cash at hand that Nio had at the end of Q4 was $5.7 billion, which this part, the Nio CEO said, based on how their business is running and this $5.7 billion, they can still go for 12 months and still be managing with this cash. So in terms of liquidity, Nio is still very strong. $5.7 billion is what they have. Q3, they had like $6 billion, right? So there is a slight drop, which again, part of the reason it might be because of the convertible notes which they bought, right? This is also very important. Now, another thing is that earnings per share came at 43 cents or negative 43 cents, which obviously it is still at a loss, and Nio still need to push more to get to profitability, right? Now, here's something that is pretty good, that I think it's a very good positive thing that we saw coming from these earnings, is that gross margins of Nio grew to 11.7%, which this was better than the 10% gross margins we saw in Q3 and the 7.5% gross margins we saw in Q4 of 2023. This is something that is very good, something that is very exciting, because the more gross margins improve, the more Nio will get closer to profitability. And one thing that obviously I forgot to mention when it comes to the loss is that Nio right now, you will know that we've been talking in the previous days and weeks that they've introduced something called CBU, Sell Business Unit, where they are prioritizing. They are not just spending money, but they are spending money on projects that have got good ROIs, or return on investments, which this is also something that will be very important, as it will cut down on the losses they generate on a quarter, which from Q2 we can expect probably, or from Q1 we can expect probably things to start changing. I mean, with gross margins improving and losses coming down, we can expect profitability to come very soon, and this is what, as investors, it's important. Yes, Nio sold over 72,000 cars in Q4, but in terms of the total revenues, they were standing at 2.699 or almost 2.7 million dollars. And by the way, the full year revenue for Nio for last year came at exactly $9 billion. So for the full year, last year, Nio generated total revenues of $9 billion. Now, something very interesting is that for the full year, when you look into the actual amount that Nio generated for vehicle sales, it goes to around $7.9 billion for the full year, which represented a 18% or 18.2% increase year over year, and over $1 billion worth of revenue. Nio generated that revenue from other sales, right? Which that was 17 or over 17% increase year over year. So other sales, it's getting to a point where it's generating Nio, of course, over $1 billion on an annual basis. I did say, or I have highlighted in the past, that other sales, I believe that it's going to get to a point where it generates Nio $1 billion each and every quarter, which is something that, of course, the boost or the massive boost of these other sales will be coming from Nio's battery swapping stations, right? Which the more they deploy this, the more they sell more cars, is the more they are going to generate more other sales. Now, here's another big thing that the Nio CEO highlighted. He said last year, Nio's market share on vehicles over 300,000 RMB stood at 40%. So Nio is still dominating the full EV cars market worth over 300,000 RMB. And Onvo, which is their family-oriented brand, he said it's in the top 3, right? When you look at the current sales that Onvo is producing, in terms of market share, they are in the top 3. In fact, I think there is a video that I might drop with some exact numbers as to how are we seeing. I mean, it goes to even a weekly basis. I think from the insurance registrations that ended for a period of the 16th of March, the top spot was taken by Tesla, then Zika, then Onvo. But I think I will have a look. I will check that table again, and I think I will do a separate video just to show you the progress that Onvo has been making, regardless of them not selling as much as we expect, but they're still doing pretty good, pretty decent, right? So yeah, man, in a nutshell, these are the earnings, these are the guidance, and this is what Nio is doing. There's a lot that we can talk about, but I don't want to make this video that long. But what I've covered here right now, these are some of the most important things that you need to know about Nio. The revenues, earnings per share, and then the gross margins, and the cash and hand, and most also importantly, the delivery guidance that Nio expects to deliver right now in March, right now in Q1, which is something that is very, very important. So yeah, man, tell me what you think about this. These are the earnings. I will be giving you the live earning calls, or some of the developments that comes out from the live earning call. Hopefully, we get to hear if Nio is still targeting to double sales this year, meaning that having the total full year sales of over 440,000. We will get that profitability. We will get that more news during the live earning call, and I will give you those news as they come. But for now, let's leave it here. Hit that likes button if you enjoyed this report that I was giving you. Hit that notification bell, because on a day-to-day I give you the Nio latest developments, latest content, because I believe that blue sky is coming. Those that are persevering will most definitely be rewarded with time. Ignore the short sellers, ignore the naysayers. We shall be rewarded in the future. That's all from me, and God bless you all.